Okay, this video is going to talk about a different set of gaze stabilization exercises that are substitution exercises. So at this point, we're using these with someone who no longer has any VOR function, so we need to use some other strategy to maintain gaze while the head is in motion. An example for this would be someone who has a bilateral vestibular hypofunction. So the first exercise that you can do with someone as a substitution strategy is you're going to do VOR times 1, but you're going to do it differently than how you did it for adaptation. So Tina, you're going to keep your eyes focused on a target and turn your head side to side, but you're only going to go as fast as you can while the image stays very clear. Okay, so for this, we don't want any blurring. We want her image to stay very clear. So that means her head movement is probably going to be a little bit slower. Okay, so that's VOR times 1. You will not do VOR times 2 for someone who has a bilateral vestibular hypofunction. Okay.
So the slower speed is because we're using the visual pursuit system, which operates at a slower speed compared to the VOR, which can operate at very high speeds. So that's why it looks the same, but it needs to be slower because it's about optic flow rather than head motion that's going to trigger the ability for the eyes to follow the object.
Super. The next exercise is you're going to do something that can be referred to as compensatory saccades or eyes then head motions. And so what you're going to do is I'm going to have Tina put out 2 targets in front of her, and she's going to start by keeping her eyes and her head looking at one target. Then she's going to quickly move just her eyes to the other and then follow it with her head. Then eyes and then head, eyes and head. And so what we're doing here is we're training her to lead with her eyes before she moves her head to improve her gaze stability. And as she improves with this coordination, she can increase the speed in which she moves her eyes and then her head. Okay. The last strategy that you can use for a substitution strategy is called remembered targets. And this is going to be to use the cervical ocular reflex to substitute for gaze stability. Right, and so for this, what we're going to do is I'm going to have Tina look out at a target that she is not holding. So a target that's far out. I'm going to have you close your eyes and then turn your head partway to the right. Try to keep your eyes right on that target. And now open your eyes and see how far off you were. Okay, so if she's way far off, then we need to work on that. Her goal is to be right on the target when she opens her eyes. We can do that to the right, left, up, down, multiple directions. And that's working on the COR to substitute to improve gaze stability.